On a sweltering summer afternoon, the river sparkles with sunshine running through the small village on the edge of the forest. Mina, a skinny woman in her 40s, was quietly walking down a dusty village road, returning home after a hard day's work. Her bare feet walked slowly, and on her shoulders was a small bag of potatoes, the little work she had just received. Thinking of the dilapidated thatched house and the frugal meal that awaited her, she felt a heavy heart. Suddenly, a faint cry for help rang out from the river, startling her. Although the sound was very quiet, the panic in it was enough to make her stunned. Turning her head to look, her eyes suddenly became tense when she saw the figure of a small child struggling in the middle of the tight water. His little hands waved in desperation, trying to cling to life. "Oh my God, it's a child!" she cried out in panic. Without thinking much, she hurriedly put the potato bag on the ground and rushed towards the riverbank. The water was fast flowing and bitterly cold, but she did not hesitate, even though she herself did not know how to swim well. Courage arose. She stepped into the water step by step, feeling the strong water engulfing her feet. With all her strength, she reached out and grabbed the sinking child's shirt. The fast-flowing water made it extremely difficult to pull the boy up. But she did not give up. After struggling with the current and her own fears, she finally got the boy to shore safely. Her whole body was soaked. She sat and breathed heavily, but was relieved to see that the child was still breathing. The boy was thin, his skin was white, and his lips were pale purple from the cold. His eyes opened slightly, looking at the woman who had just saved him with a vague but emotional look. "Don't be afraid. I'm here." She patted him gently, her trembling hands touching his forehead to check. The boy didn't say anything, just looked at her with watery eyes. Fear was still evident on that immature face. Mrs. Mina quickly led the boy home, wondering about his situation. And from that moment, her life took an unexpected turn. The small house is located on a hillside, built from old pieces of wood, and the roof has faded over the years. Inside, there was nothing but an old table, a few low chairs, and a smoky corner of the kitchen. It was the place where Mrs. Mina and the boy she had saved together relied on during the months of hardship. Every morning, Mrs. Mina woke up very early, her rough hands holding an old knife to prepare a simple breakfast for the two of them. The meals usually consisted of a little cold rice soup with vegetables picked from the garden, but she always tried to save the best part for the child. "You eat a lot to be healthy," she said, her gentle smile appearing even though her eyes were tired. During the day, she took on all kinds of jobs, from harvesting rice, picking firewood, to cleaning houses in the village. The few co-workers she saved little by little to buy books and clothes for the boy. Despite his poor life, she always tried to give him a sense of security and love. The boy, now healthier, no longer had the intimidating look of the first day. Every afternoon after school, he used to help her carry water from the well to the house, or take care of a small garden growing vegetables. "I'm going to study well so that I can raise you later," he said, his eyes shining with hope. Those words seemed to empower Mrs. Mina, helping her overcome the fatigue of life. Although every day is a series of hardships, there is always a special warmth between the two. The boy's laughter, the stories told by the flickering fire every night, or just a gentle fist, all made the little house full of love. Life may be lacking enough, but the love that Mina and the boy have for each other is something that nothing can shake. In her heart, that child is not only the one she saves her life, but also a source of motivation and hope for Mina's brighter days. Victor's learning journey is an energetic and inspiring story that exemplifies the power of determination in difficult circumstances. On his first day at school, Victor wore an old shirt that had been patched up many times by Mina, holding in his hand a small briefcase containing a notebook and a pen he had saved up to buy for him. Although he was a little apprehensive in front of his friends, his eyes lit up with eagerness to learn new things. In class, Victor always listens attentively and takes notes carefully. Difficult math problems or complicated sentences did not discourage him. In the evening, when the creeping oil lamp illuminates the small study corner, Victor sits drunkenly doing his homework, not getting tired. Whenever she encounters difficulties, Ms. Mina always encourages. "Just try, Just work hard. Nothing is impossible. Although he does not have the same conditions for extra learning as his classmates, Victor always seeks to learn from old books and take advantage of every moment in class. In his spare time, he often borrows books from the school library to read, record knowledge that he does not understand. Sometimes, those books are also gifts from teachers and friends who are touched by Victor's eagerness to learn. The journey is not without obstacles. There were rainy days, slippery dirt roads that made Victor have to be careful every step so as not to fall, or times he had to help Mrs. Mina finish her work early to get to class in time. But nothing can stop Victor from reaching for his dream. The fruits of that effort gradually paid off. Victor has always been among the best students in his class, often praised for his willingness to overcome difficulties. He is not only good at studying but also a friendly friend, always ready to help those around him. In particular, Victor regularly participates in school-level excellent student competitions and achieves excellent results, making the whole village proud of the hard-working and energetic boy. Victor's learning journey is not only the story of a boy overcoming circumstances to succeed, but also a testament to the power of dreams and love. His relentless efforts not only glorified himself but also lit up faith in a good future for both Mina and those who loved him. Victor's years in the city were a challenging time, but it was also a period that helped him grow up and appreciate the values of life more. On the day he left his hometown to go to the city to study and work, Victor only carried an old backpack and strong hopes for the future. The city is magnificent but also full of harshness for young people from poor countryside like Victor. He had to study and work at the same time to cover living expenses and send some money back to his hometown to help Mrs. Mina. During the day, Victor focuses on studying, takes notes hard, and is always looking for opportunities to communicate with teachers and friends. In the evening, he was busy with part-time work, sometimes as a waitress at a small restaurant, sometimes delivering goods to every crowded street. Late at night, after a tiring shift, Victor often sits in the corner of a small motel table to complete his homework. The electric lights in the room were cramped, and the sound of traffic on the street echoed in, but nothing distracted him. Every time he missed his hometown, Victor looked at the small photo he took with Mina in the corner of the table, telling himself to try harder not to disappoint the person he loved who had sacrificed his life for him. City life is not only difficult, but it also teaches Victor many valuable lessons. He learned to be independent, know how to manage time and spend reasonably. Stumbling at work or being rejected when looking for opportunities also became a motivation for Victor to get up stronger. Gradually, with effort and perseverance, Victor not only completed his studies well, but also built relationships that would help him in his later career. He received a scholarship thanks to his excellent performance, which somewhat eased his financial burden. Teachers and friends in the school always appreciate Victor's willingness to overcome difficulties, seeing him as a shining example for those who are facing difficult circumstances. The difficult years in the city did not discourage Victor, but on the contrary, trained him to be more resilient and strong-willed. It was an unforgettable time, helping Victor realize the value of hard work and dreams in his journey to conquer a bright future. With all his relentless efforts, Victor gradually conquered the pinnacle of his career, becoming an admirable role model. After graduating with an excellent degree, he received an invitation from a large corporation, which was once the dream of many students. Initially, Victor started in a low position, but with hard work and creativity, he quickly asserted his abilities. In the early days of work, Victor spent a lot of time learning from colleagues and tinkering with research. He did not hesitate to take on more difficult tasks, ready to stay up late to complete important projects. It was that dedicated work spirit that helped Victor quickly advance, from an ordinary employee to a project manager in just a few years. Victor's first project was a big challenge, requiring not only high expertise but also the ability to manage and coordinate the team. Despite many difficulties, Victor persevered, finding ways to solve each problem intelligently and effectively. As a result, the project not only achieved the target but also brought revenue far beyond expectations, helping the company strengthen its position in the market. That success has made Victor's name one of the most promising young factors of the group. Thanks to successive achievements, Victor was appointed to a senior leadership position, in charge of strategic projects. With a keen vision and a close leadership style, he not only helps the company achieve important goals, but also builds a united and enthusiastic team. Besides work, Victor also actively participates in community activities, regularly sharing experiences with young people through seminars or career counseling programs. The stories of Victor's journey to overcome difficulties are not only an inspiration but also a motivation for many people to rise from difficult circumstances. Now, Victor is not only known as a successful person, but also a symbol of perseverance and strong willpower. His success is not only the result of talent but also a testament to the value of effort and belief in himself. Although he has achieved a lot of success in his career and has a stable life, Victor has never forgotten the people who have always stood by him in difficult times. The affection that he has for his family, friends and homeland is always intact as in the beginning, even deeper over time. After settling down in the city, Victor often returned to his hometown to visit his mother and neighbors. He did not hesitate to help his mother do small tasks such as cleaning the house, repairing old thatched roofs, or going to the field with relatives to harvest crops. Victor's return to his hometown is not only an opportunity to compensate for family affection but also to find peace and strengthen the next journey. With friends who have been with him since his teenage years, Victor still keeps in touch and spends time meeting despite his busy schedule. He always remembers the childhood memories attached to the river, the field, or the evenings when they invite each other to study under the oil lamp. That sincere friendship became a spiritual fulcrum, helping Victor always feel that he was not alone even in the crowded city. Victor also does not forget to thank his teachers, who have guided and helped him have a solid foundation to reach far. Every holiday, he always takes time to visit his old school, bring simple but meaningful gifts, and review memorable memories with his teachers. For Victor, success is not only measured by money or fame but also by the spiritual values he always preserves. The strong bond with family, friends and hometown is not only a source of encouragement, but also a motivation for Victor to continue living and dedicating. For him, loved ones are the most precious treasure in life. Although Victor always appears strong and decisive on the outside, deep inside, he has many times faced with torn internal conflicts. The journey up from hardship has brought Victor many valuable lessons, but it has also made him question himself many times. Growing up in poverty, Victor always had a desire to rise up to change his life. However, the pressure to succeed sometimes makes him feel tired and skeptical about the true meaning of what he is pursuing. There are nights, in the middle of the city's late lights, Victor sits quietly by the window, wondering if his relentless efforts really bring happiness, or if it's just a never-ending race. In addition, Victor also struggles with guilt for not being able to spend more time with his family. When his mother called to inquire, his mother's laughter on the phone made Victor feel relieved, but soon afterwards it was tormented because he could not be there to take care of her like he did when he was a child. Victor always told himself that he did everything for his mother, but that couldn't completely ease the feeling of separation. Besides, in a competitive working environment, Victor cannot avoid moments of wonder about the choices between fame and morality. He used to have the opportunity to achieve greater achievements if he accepted to give up part of his core values. But every time he faces temptations, Victor always remembers the image of his father, who taught him to live upright and sincerely. Those teachings became a guideline to help Victor overcome all his worries and maintain his self-esteem. Inner conflicts do not deter Victor, on the contrary, they help him better understand himself and the things that really matter in life. For Victor, balancing dreams, responsibilities, and personal values is a difficult but rewarding journey, because it helps him grow and become stronger every day.